Hi there, I am Bonnie McCaffery, and thank you so much for coming back for another vidcast this month. I'm here with Brenda Henning, who lives up in Alaska, and she does a lot of wonderful quilts. This is gorgeous, Brenda. What kind of quilt is this?
This is a Mariner's Compass quilt. This is my rendition of a Mariner's Compass quilt.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I just love this. And the colors are gorgeous. What's it called?
This one is called Bahama Breeze.
Why?
It was actually named that because of the packet of hand-dyed fabrics that I used.
Oh.
Amazingly enough.
Was the packet called Bahama Breeze?
You know, I can't remember what it was called.
But you just thought it reminded you of Bahama Breeze.
It reminded me of Bahama Breeze. The colors, the textures. I thought it was just a fabulous set of fabrics.
Yeah, the colors are beautiful.
Aren't they?
And I know I've been here with Brenda several days, and she has quite a few of these wonderful quilts. Another Mariner's Compass here.
Yeah. This one I called Points North. This was the first of the series that I made, and it was a compass, so it had to point north, obviously, I thought.
Yes, since you live north.
I live north.
Really neat. Now, some of them are simpler Mariner's Compass, and some of them are really complex. I mean, this looks really, there's a lot of points coming in there.
There are a lot of points coming in there. Yes, it's not as easy to bring all the points in. The points out here are much simpler.
Yeah, and you know what? After doing your DVD, you do have a really neat technique for doing these Mariner's compasses and making it easier. Well, first of all, you have a brand new DVD.
The DVD is all about foundation paper piecing Mariner's compasses.
Yes.
So much fun, so much fun. You know, step by step, it makes paper piecing, makes compasses so much easier.
It really does. I mean, I was amazed that it made it look like it was possible, and the points on those Mariner's compasses were great.
Oh yeah, they're perfect.
They are perfect, and you tell them exactly how to get them perfect.
Yeah, when you sew on a line, you can't help it be perfect.
You can't. And what I thought was really neat was that you have a pattern that's on the DVD that they can print out, and they can work right along with you.
Absolutely. So you can come and play with me at my house.
Yeah. On the DVD.
On the DVD.
Yeah.
We'll pretend.
Yeah, we'll pretend. And once they get comfortable with the DVD, with the technique for the Mariner's Compass, you have a great book here. This is a beautiful book of a lot of different Mariner's compasses that you have.
There are 28 different Mariner's compasses.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, they're fun. You can photocopy them if you wish. Trace, do whatever you need to do to copy them.
Right.
There are 7 different settings. I love compasses, but I also love samplers. So this was my way of putting the two loves together.
Right. So they can buy the book and make copies of this, so they do the foundation piecing right on here. And that's, you know, that works, but I know that you have another trick up your sleeve, which is really neat.
I have a CD.
Yes, you have a CD. And what's on the CD?
The CD is a PDF, and it holds all of the 28 compasses from the book, as well as 11 additional compasses that you won't find in the book. And you can print it out right from your computer.
Right. So you just plug it in, you find the one you want to do, print out the pattern, and go piece away.
I'm all for instant gratification.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. Oh, that's really neat. Now, one of the things that I noticed on your quilts is that you do these half-square triangles, and you have a way of doing them so they're really accurate.
Yes. I use my disc, Triangulations. The Triangulation CD is a collection of half-square triangle grids. The half squares are 1/2 inch to 7.5 inch in 1/8 inch increments.
So it's a grid like this you can print out on your computer.
You print it right out of your computer. It's a PDF, so it opens through Acrobat Reader. You just print it out. I trim it down to just outside that outermost line. I layer it with my 2 pieces of fabric. And those 2 pieces of fabric are right sides together. See if I can get that apart here.
Yeah.
They're right sides together. So you layer it up with those 2 pieces of fabric. You stitch on all the dotted lines. You cut it apart on all the solid lines.
And you get a whole bunch of these little half-square triangles made pretty quickly.
Really quickly. And they're perfect.
Yeah.
They're so perfect. It's wonderful.
That is such a neat technique.
Oh, I love it.
Great thing. And these are available on your website.
They're all available on my website.
Perfect. Now, I heard somebody say that you had more than one sewing studio.
I'm guilty.
How many do you have?
Well, sewing studio makes it sound like I have
buildings. Sewing rooms.
Sewing rooms. I started in the basement when the children were little. I had a huge room in the basement, and I had to abandon it. It was so full of stuff. I was stepping over piles. I abandoned it. When we lost the first couple of children to adulthood, I moved upstairs to a room that actually has sunlight, and now I'm approaching abandonment again because we're losing another kid or two. So, yes, I'm guilty.
You have a few sewing areas.
A few sewing areas.
That's great.
But, you know, I have the problem that I'm too prolific. I work from project to project and book to book, and so unfortunately between books I don't always get picked up immediately.
Yeah. Brenda, how many books do you have?
30. 30
books.
Yeah.
All right, how many can you name?
How much time do we have?
Go for it.
No.
What is the flavor of the books? Are they all pattern type of books?
They're all pattern type of books. It started with the Alaskan Silhouette Sampler that I wrote probably in '95, and the tourists still buy it, so I'm not stopping with that book. They're all pattern type of books, a lot of sampler type of format, and more recently I've been working with Hoffman Fabrics, working with their Bolly Pop strips.
Oh, I bet that's fun.
Oh, it is fun.
That's neat. And you do travel and teach, and what kind of workshops do you teach?
I travel and teach. I teach a lot of Mariner's Compass workshops.
Oh, I'm sure.
I teach stained glass workshops. I'm starting to teach the Bolly Pop workshops, the strip piece quilts.
Cool. And the stained glass. Now, you have a little demo here that you're going to show us.
I do.
How you do your stained glass. Now, how is this a little different?
When I started doing stained glass, I did it the traditional method with bias tape.
Right.
And there are a number of companies now that have fusible bias tape.
Right.
But I got to a point that I wanted to do stained glass with more of a organic feel, and perhaps with narrower margins, so that I could have a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'll take the pattern, and I'll trace the pattern onto Steam-A-Seam, and I'll trace on both sides of this line. This is a little bit, it's not quite a 1/4 of an inch, but it's more than 1/8 of an inch wide. And I trace on each side of this line, and then I go ahead on the Steam-A-Seam.
On the Steam-A-Seam,
and I cut that apart.
Oh, you cut the Steam-A-Seam apart.
I cut the Steam-A-Seam apart.
Before you put it on fabric?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I cut it all apart before I put it on the fabric. And I label it. See how I've labeled everything?
Oh, yeah.
I label the Steam-A-Seam. And then I can take this piece of Steam-A-Seam, its background, and I press it on the wrong side of my background fabric.
The Steam-A-Seam,
The
right,
Steam-A-Seam.
okay.
Or I press this piece of Steam-A-Seam on the wrong side of my heart fabric. And then what I'll do is I'll take the pattern and I'll turn it over and I'll slide it underneath a piece of black fabric, because with Steam-A-Seam and Wonder Under the fusibles, you have to reverse the pattern at some point. So by reversing it and sliding it underneath my black fabric, I've reversed the pattern, and then I'll take this to a light box or to a window, and then I'll start placing these pieces of fabric, the colored fabric that I've cut.
Right.
And so, you know, here I just have the last final 2 pieces to peel. I love the Steam-A-Seam because if I'm working on a window, this is now sticky.
Yeah.
So I can just place this, and if I'm working up on a window, because on some of my projects they're quite large, and I can just work on my window, these will stick in place until I finish placing all the colors that I want, and I can pick it up and carry it to my sewing room and press it in place.
Wow, that is a lot easier than using the sticky bias tape.
It's a lot faster. It's a lot of
Oh,
fun.
that's a great technique.
It's great, and you have more detail. The margins are narrower, but they're also kind of changing.
Yeah.
So it's more organic feeling. I just love it.
It is great.
It's fun. Now this pattern is also available on my website if anyone wants to play with it.
Wow, so if you want to try that out, that's on Brenda's website. And now let me just throw you a little bit of a curve. What is your philosophy of life?
Oh my. Do no harm.
Do no harm.
Do no harm.
That's good. Are you going to have fun? Yeah, having fun is a good thing.
Do no harm.
Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. And thank you all for coming. I hope you'll come back next month and see what I have for you then. Thanks for being with me.